Hi, everybody. Welcome. Come in, sit down, grab yourselves a cup of coffee or tea, and let's chat. Okay, I see practically everyone is talking about Harry's ITV interview on the phone hacking. I personally would prefer to watch the entire interview tonight before commenting on what was said and what was not said. However, having said that, I watched the trailer, which is a little longer than the few seconds we saw before, and I'm going to say what I said before. I'm no doctor, but if that was my son, my brother, or husband, I would have been very worried. Something is wrong with Harry, and if the family, friends, and even the media can't see it, then they are either blind or pretending to be blind. Let's start with where the clip I watched started. Harry getting ready to go into the interview, and then he walks in, greets the interviewer, and sits down. Yes, like some of you, I noticed how thin he is, and I even said something about it before. But some of you said the pictures are likely photoshopped and so on and so on. And because we are so accustomed to Harry and Meghan's photographs being manipulated and photoshopped, I was not going to argue. But this is a video and not as easily manipulated. The man looks terrible. And when he greets Rebecca, it's clear how thin his arms and wrists are. And when he sits down, he uses his hands to lower himself, almost like it is painful to sit down. Now, my grandson is tall, and I have observed him sitting down on a low stool or bench because I thought it could be possible that putting his hands out to steady himself was because the couch was so low. But Dragon Man does not do that sitting down on a low bench. And then I rewatched footage of Harry and Meghan at the Tillman Awards. And there you can see that Harry is slumping or slouching in his chair, not really sitting up on his tailbone, but sort of lying on his backside. So either he hurt his tailbone or he is too thin. One sees that kind of slumping in a chair often in very ill, very frail patients. Also, observe Harry's knees. Even under the pants, we can see how bony his knees are. Yes, some people are saying he used Ozempic along with his wife. It's possible, I guess, but why would he? He wasn't overweight, and a little exercise does wonders for a slight pouch. Something else I noticed in Harry for a while now is how he sort of licks his lips. Actually, more a quick flash of the tongue when he talks. Something as small and almost insignificant as that is actually a huge tell and can have a physical medical reason or even a psychological one. The more physical reason could be nervousness causing dry mouth, or according to the human lie detector, Darren Stanton, it could also be a sign of insecurity or, ta-da, lying. Okay, now we think we know it all, but we don't. There are a number of medications like antidepressants, antipsychotics, sedatives, and stimulants which can cause that dry mouth, flitting tongue, lip licking as we see in Harry. But that is also not all. Opioids cause the exact same thing. Also remember that stimulants like Coke, not the cola kind, and MDMAs like Miss Molly are also appetite suppressants and can also change the way calories and fat are metabolized. Okay, now there was one close-up of Harry's face, and in that close-up, it is clear that his pupils are dilated. Now, one would expect that filming in a studio with relatively bright lights shining on them, his pupils would be constricted or smaller, because that is what pupils do in bright light. They constrict or get smaller in bright light, or dilate and get bigger in dim light. We also know that stimulants and psychotropic substances also cause pupil dilation. So again, we are talking about Coke, not the cola kind, Miss Molly, the weed, and a couple of others. So at the end of the day, here we have Harry in an interview who clearly lost a lot of weight with his tongue flitting in and out, sort of licking his lips, and dilated pupils. Now, I don't know, you guys. You must decide for yourselves. Legally, I may not state anything as fact. All I'm saying is that if Harry was my son, my brother, or husband, I would be concerned. Having said that, he will be 40 in September. He is not a child, but a married man. There is basically nothing anyone can do unless or until he asks for help, or unless or until he becomes a danger to himself or others. I don't know what to tell you. I find it difficult to believe that Harry will go and spend an entire month in England at this point. England's laws on drugs, including weed, is much different from that of the United States. But, I guess if you are rich and have contacts, it may not be a major issue. In the next video, I will then give you my impressions and opinion on what Harry said in this interview. Judging by what I have seen so far, there is a lot to talk about, and in my opinion, it slots right in with what we have just spoken about. But I'll explain that in the next video. So guys, take good care. Until then, bye.